Okay, so we've just gone past 2 o'clock, so we'll kick off. So first of all, welcome everybody to this live webinar in our series of preparing for K. We're delighted that you've joined us today. There's been lots of preparation happening in the background for K Show, K 2025. Another 3 years has passed. So today I'm delighted to welcome Bertil Kapff from the tax consultancy WTS to share some really valuable knowledge on plastics taxation within Europe. And also I'm delighted to welcome Caitríona Mordan from the ATIM cluster to share all about the collaboration effort that we're looking to pursue for K 2025 as well. So just to immediately get kicked off, the first thing is we'd like to invite you to another event. So we're having an All-Ireland networking event happening on Thursday, the 9th of October in O'Reilly's Irish Pub in Dusseldorf during K Show. And we'd invite you to show up, be visible and network together. So Caitríona will share a little bit more about this later on, but you'll see the QR code on screen. Just a few housekeepings. This session will be recorded and shared afterwards. And also, if you have any questions during this session, please feel free to pop them in the Q&A section of the webinar, and we'll try to address them at the end of the webinar. Okay, so let's move on. So just to give us some context around our industry, the plastics industry, we've highlighted some growth indicators. So what you'll see on screen are 2 different sources around plastics processing machinery. Each of those indicate the current market size estimated between 25.9 billion and 40 billion in terms of plastics processing machinery. And I guess what we can deduce from this is the industry is certainly very buoyant, and you can see an upward trend continuing to progress right the way towards 2029 or 2030. On average, that means between a 4.6 and 6.1% growth rate happening within the industry. So despite all the negative press that we seem to hear at consumer level, it's estimated that the industry is going to continue to grow. So we're in the right place at the right time for sure. Within the industry, we want to highlight some of the trends that we're picking up on at the moment with each of our clients and people we're engaging with. So that's around labor shortages, capacity restrictions, expansion requirements, a drive consistently to be more competitive, and also a real demand around traceability. And we think that's related to the tax compliance element, which we're going to talk about today, and also the impact of tariffs. And given tariffs, the prominence they have within this industry at the moment, we felt it's appropriate to draw attention to it. So just one statistic to share on that is the impact of tariffs within the plastics, primary plastics machinery market and North American market. We've seen a decrease of 17.5% in Q1 of 2025 when compared to the Q4 of 2024, which is a drop, which I guess is somewhat expected, but it's interesting just to bring it into numbers, the impact of tariffs within our own industry. Some of the areas just to highlight here, in terms of the growth rates, there is in excess of a 3% growth rate still happening across different machinery categories, from extruder machines, injection molding machines, blow molding and vacuum forming. So again, that's indicating to us that each of these areas are still investments happening, and also across different market segments between packaging, automotive, construction and consumer goods. So all still in growth. And the other part that we'd like to highlight is certain trends that are happening in the machinery side of the business. So there's a drive towards automation and robotics, more efficient machines, sustainable materials, and connected product in terms of the IoT-enabled machines as well. So within TSM, we want to share with you today, we're going to be a K Show, and we've got a mission. So our mission is to really breathe new life into existing primary production facilities. And the question is, what can we do? And what we're trying to share within the industry is we're able to reduce your requirement for labor, provide real-time data on what's really happening within your process, and enable more efficient production with increased flexibility. So to bring that to life, we have a number of different items we'll be showing at K Show, and this is just to show you a high level. There's lots of new developments that we'll be releasing at K Show. We're going to be at K Show our stand is in Hall 10 on stand number H22. And our real invitation is to come and engage with us. We're operating across 74 countries globally. We're picking up on different trends between Asia, Europe, and the US. And really, as a company and across the Irish manufacturing sector, we're open to really hear your challenges and see if we can help you support addressing those challenges or connect you with the right people within the industry. So I guess that's our real call to action today. Let's connect. Let's talk at K. There's a QR code you'll see on screen, and we'll share the link afterwards. But feel free to book some time to connect with us at K Show and see where we can go from there. Finally, just to reiterate, in the physical terms, we're going to be at that event, which is on the 9th of October in O'Reilly's Irish Bar. Again, as an industry, we want to come together. We'd like to invite you to be there. We're hosting that event in conjunction with Polymer Connect from the All Ireland side, and Caitríona will share a little bit more about that later on. So at this stage, I'd like to hand over to Bertil, and he'll be able to share his valuable knowledge on plastics taxes within Europe.
Thank you so much, Shane, and thank you everybody for the invitation. For me, it's a great honor to be here again. I was also presenting. We had a similar webinar 3 years ago, so I hope somebody of you were already there last time. I will share today with you some insights about plastic taxation and especially what happened since 2022 when we did the last webinar together. For all of you who were not there, don't be scared. I will summarize the main important things, and also like what is the main developments in the following legislation: UK, Spain, Germany, Italy, and Canada, and also what is most important and crucial for you as an industry. What are the internal compliance processes? What do we have to prioritize, and what will be the following developments for the future? Let's start with the presentation, and here I give you first an overview about the different levies and taxes which you have on single-use plastics, because it's really important. It's always the first question when I receive, I have this plastic tax and this levy, how do these different levies fit together? Maybe just 2 sentences about me. For everybody who doesn't know me, I'm a tax consultant at WTS, also based in Düsseldorf. So I'm really excited to have the K Show in my hometown, and also to see as many of you as possible in October. I work in energy taxation for 13 years now, and have quite a large knowledge. And since 2020, we are as a global network. WTS, it's an international tax consulting firm. We have local entities in like all countries of the world. We are monitoring the international developments on plastic taxations, which are quite quick in development over the last year. And I always talk to my colleagues in the various countries to see where's the development in which country. And we make once a year a report on the plastic taxation. And we're really happy to share with the industry and to get also in discussion with everybody who is concerned about plastic taxation of the findings we have in this report. But let's start first with this general overview, where you see the different levies which are on single-use plastics, and which for you as a manufacturer or for you as an importer or distributor of single-use plastic products may be of concern. And the most important thing, it's why also we have this webinar, is the plastic taxation. This is something which was implemented since 2020 by a new EU legislation, which tells to the member states to implement, to share a levy towards the European Union in order to help to reduce the plastic consumption in the EU. There are some countries who also transferred this tax. We will come to this in a second, especially the countries are already mentioned in the agenda. And when most of you will already know this topic, because it's not very new, the extended producer responsibility is the the fee which you have to pay, and not towards the government but towards the recycling management company. And yeah, there are also different approaches we have in the different countries. Like in Germany, it's called a dual system. They are responsible for taking the recycling of single-use plastics in Germany, and the producers of this plastics, they have to pay some fee. And yeah, here are also the regulations are evolving really quickly, especially in the subject of how we get the recyclability into the calculation of the fees. So if you take a reusable plastics, recyclable plastic, or even recycled plastics, then there may be different approaches on how to fix the fees. Right now, it's just in Germany, I can say just one single fee, for the concerned, depending on the material. Like if you have glass, you have a different fee compared to plastics, compared to metal, but this will evolve in future. So this is also something you have to take in care. So the third levy which we have to talk is the single levy here for in the food industry for disposable plastics also, which is was implemented in 2024, but now in 2025 you have the first time where you have to make some declaration towards the the federal authorities. I will show you later on a different slide which products are concerned here. So this is also important. It is based on a European directive. So this means you have this in Ireland, the same approach also in France, in Lithuania, in Greece, Malta, or wherever you are in the EU, or when you put your products onto the market, you would have to check if your products are concerned here on the different levy, which is in the focus here. And the fourth part of my slide, it's regulatory law. You all know this science, and you probably all know the products which are not allowed to put on the market anymore. For example, plastic straws or cutlery or some other products which are by EU ban are not allowed to put on the market anymore. So it is always important. You cannot pay a plastic tax when the product is not allowed to be placed on the market anymore. So this is always goes in first place, so that we have to check here how the developments on the regulatory side are continue. Without this, you will maybe have some challenges in the future. And there I will just put on the focus on the revision of the EU packaging and packaging waste regulation. Here you have a PPWR. It's not on plastic taxation, but it's on the regulatory side. There will be a new really important changes. There will be new products which will be restricted in future, and it's there are also large development in this area, and it was now completely approved by the European Union, and it will come into force in 2026. So this is something we all need to monitor. This is the first overview. Then I will also give you the points which you need to focus on as industry. Here for me, this is like a really a key slide for you as a company. If you're in the business of putting onto the market single-use plastic products, which are the steps which you have to take in order to make your company ready for plastic taxation. The first thing, obviously, you need to look in which countries you put on plastic products onto the market, and these are the main focus of this presentation, and where you should look at. If you're not concerned, then it's also a good information for you. You have to check whether there is new law coming up, or if there's any changes in this legislation. This is why we make the yearly report and ask our partners how are developments in these various countries. It's really important for you to know. In theory, we have an European legislation which should be common in all countries, but in practice it's really different from one country to another. And yeah, as I said, we have partners in each country which are there to help if you need some practical questions when we go to step 2. This is also something which we can help as tax consultants to identify the specific products which are liable to tax and where there might be exemptions and where there might be discussions with the tax authorities when it is really a process of defining first which might be the scope of your product going under the new legislation, or where we might find some other solutions. And what is also really important is to start the documentation of the plastic product flaws. So we have a lot of clients, they say we do not have any in our P system any plastics data yet. We have to change the accounting systems here, and this is also a big challenge which we see in all countries which are affected in plastic taxation. So once you first look if there's a tax, and then if there's a tax, what are the products, and then how we get them into the system. Step 3 is also it doesn't matter which country we're talking about, but you have to find the right person in the supply chain who's liable to pay the tax, who has to make the declaration to the tax authorities, who has to do the declaration, the registration and everything. And this sometimes also takes some negotiation, and because it's important obviously that not 2 persons declare the tax, or even worse, none of them. So most companies always tell me it's not about the amount of plastic tax we have to pay, but it's about the documentation work which we have, and the compliance work costs as much as the tax itself. So it's really important here to make the process as easy as possible, and to coordinate with your suppliers, with your customers, so that the right person in the supply chain makes the tax declaration. And I think step 4 and 5 are quite obvious. You have to register through some tax authority. You have to make some internal guidelines in order to make the process going. In the best case, you have some automatic processes which create the tax declarations for you, and you might have to make your regular tax submissions. But it's also something you have to put in place, and then obviously at the last point you have to pay the tax and be ready for some audits, which now, as we will see in the next slides, they arise more and more in the different countries. First, some general comment again. Here, I think I explained it already. We have since 2021, the legislation was implemented in 2020, but since 2021 it's in force. The member states, this is important, the member states, they have to pay some amount to the European Union as their contribution, and this amount is calculated on the on the amount of plastic they are putting onto the market, which is not recycled. And in order to refinance this new plastic levy, the member states, they introduced some national plastic taxes, but which are then paid by the producers or the distributors of single-use plastics. But it's not the case in every country. There are some member states, for example, Luxembourg or France, they are saying, no, we are paying it out of the national budget. But this obviously is subject to change depending on the current government in the different countries. And I already said to you, we make once a year some report where we ask our member states, our member firms in different countries on how is the development in the last year. Do we have some special changes we want to focus at? And you find this report for free on our website, and maybe we can share it with you afterwards with the webinar with the slides here, so that you can have a convenient approach to this report. Every country which answered my question is integrated in this report, and they make some information on how the situation is currently, where there was some changes, and yeah, especially like Italy and Germany, we have it here in red. We will come to it in a second. There are some big discussions, obviously, in the countries like UK and Spain, where the tax is already implemented. When there's the changes are minor, it's more about the practical experience which we have now when you have the first audit procedures or the first declarations, which are challenged by the authorities. When there are discussion processes, what are the authorities looking at? So this is also information you find in this report, but especially if you go for Lithuania, if you go for Greece or anything, yeah, to see how the developments are here. I always suggest to my clients first read the general information which is integrated in this report, and then yeah, we can. I'm really happy to arrange with you a phone call with our local colleague who can better than myself tell you the situation in the specific countries. I already talked about yeah, new levy for single-use plastics. Yeah, concerning from the coming out of the EU Single-Use Plastic Directive, especially out of the food sector. In Germany, it's implemented by a single-use plastic fund, so-called single-use plastic fund. You as a distributor of single-use plastic products, we'll come to the list of concerned products in a second. You have to pay a levy to the environmental ministry. They are collecting the money, and then with this money they are paying out local authorities in order to take care of the trash out of single-use plastics. And yeah, it's important, as I said, it's a mandatory EU directive, so it's in every member state there should be some similar legislation. So if you're a producer or distributor of one of the following products which are here on the slide, then you should not only look in Ireland what are the specific regulation, but you need to take care if you're also maybe liable to some declarations or registration of obligations in the in other member states. So, for example, we have a client in the tobacco industry. In the tobacco, it's particularly important because they have the highest tax rates in this regard. Yeah, obviously, like if you have cigarettes and when they have to be cleaned up in parks or streets or any place, when there are a lot of costs arising, and to bear for this cost when we have this new levy. Yeah, so if you put a producer of food containers, food products, beverage containers, beverage cups, plastic carrier bags, wet wipes, so all of you have children or anything, they know the specific wipes, balloons, obviously, and these are all products which are tend to be not to be thrown away in the correct way, and this is why the EU decided to put on this new levy. And it's the problem is it's by this directive it's not being implemented in the same way in each member state, but in a some special way in each member state. And as I said, we have some client in the tobacco industry. They asked us to make some international questionnaire in order to find out how are the amount of the levy and the way to to declare it and everything. So if there is any international question on this regard, we are here to help you in order to get this issue concerned. So this is, as I said, it's a new levy since 2024, and now for 2025, the first time you have to make the declarations, make the payments. So be sure to be prepared to make all the necessary declarations here, and to check if you have some obligations in the specific countries. And this for the general introduction. Now we will look into the specific countries I already talked about. It's important that you will have a first slide with an overview. I don't want to read everything out to you. You have the slides for your self. It's important for me to highlight the most important changes which happened since our last webinar in 2022, where we already talked about the UK plastic tax. You all know it was implemented in April 2022. There was a raise each year in the tax, so now we are not at £200, but it's the inflation was integrated. Now we have 223 pounds, but yeah, it will continue each year with the inflation. Important for you to know that there is exemption, like if your plastic packaging you put onto the market has at least 30% of recycled content, then the plastic will be exempt from the specific tax in the UK. So this is also something you might be looking at to evaluate if there's a possibility of changing of the packaging in order to not to fall under the specific declaration obligation. But yeah, obviously, if you use recycled plastic, then you will have to prove this. We'll come to this on the next slide. And there's also, especially like I work for a lot of German companies who are exporting to the UK. We have some exemptions you find here in the middle of the slide. There's the main exemption is that you do not tax transport packaging, so it's just the packaging for the products. And here we also have a large threshold of 10 tons of plastic packaging per year. So it's if your specific company is not importing more than 10 tons from Ireland to the UK, then you might also be exempt, but you have to have your records ready. Here you have the compliance obligations if you're normally going over the threshold, but if you're under the threshold, it's still something which is which you have to look at, especially here. I put on this slide the main challenges which we received. I talked to my UK colleague in London with the in preparation of this webinar, and this is what was her feedback. What's right now, 3 years into the plastic tax, which are the main challenges for her clients. And as I said, reporting, and it's not only your company. Obviously, I already talked about it. You have to put in the computer system data complexity. You have to change your SAP system, ERP system in order to integrate the plastic information. But it's not always easy even to collect the data, and where she always requests to use some internal templates so that you can coordinate the data gathering throughout all business units, and make the process of data collection and data processation not so complex as possible. But it's a challenge as we see here. If you have to look up also to make sure that in your group, with every legal entity monitors the threshold of 10 tons, and even though you're not exceeding it, you're not making the declarations, you still have to have your documents ready in order to look at to be prepared for audits of the HMRC, the UK customs authorities, in order to prove your documentation. Imports are also sometimes a point of discussion to find out. I already talked about it, to find the right person, who is the person who is liable to make the declaration, and to get in contact with your specific consumers and suppliers. A new topic, which is I think interesting. I already talked about this 30% threshold for recycled plastics. There are also studies in order to raise this amount, so that you're not allowed to exempt this plastic with 30%, but make it a higher amount, like 50% or some other value. But in future, there will also be the possibility to have the chemical recycling integrated into this exemption possibility. And there also the way how to calculate is are currently in discussion. Right now it's not allowed, as you see here on the slide, to do the mass balance as on chemical recycling, but there is in future there will be some easier processes here. I will also focus on that, to say the HMRC. They are currently looking especially on your data, how you collect the data, how you have your documentation, especially as I said here on recycled content. This is something you really need to have some proof ready. And also for the plastics data, it's mainly about the documentation on how many plastics did you receive, how many did you resell, and if you do not have your documentations ready, then there will be the tax authorities will make estimates, and then you are risking not only to pay some more taxes, but also to lose your good reputation as a taxpayer. So this is actually the main point which I want to highlight as in UK is really the documentation process, and also how to get the numbers into your digital processes. So we have some clients really very working with their ERP system in order to align their data and to have it group-wise orchestrated. And it's also important what is written here, that you're not only paying to the plastic packaging tax, but you're also making the extended producer responsibility. So there are numbers and figures you're delivering to different authorities. You're delivering the data to different persons, and they are also monitoring what you're giving to one authority and the other authority. And so there will be checks through these different authorities in order to not to put you on under risk. It's really important to have clear process ownership within the organization, but also double checks if you're not handing out different numbers for the same processes in the for the same issue. And obviously there will be continuously new technical updates, as I said, especially here on chemical recycling, but also the tax amount changes. There's always something you should look at in the UK plastic tax. Spain, where we had not so many changes from the beginning as in UK, it was also implemented in 2023. So now we are also like 2.5 years in. We are still at the tax amount of 0.45 euros per kilogram. It's important here to address that we also have some threshold. It's not 10 tons, but it's 5K per month. So it's a really low threshold, and we have a lot of companies who are not liable to pay tax in the UK, but who are for little imports. We are really really quickly going into the Spanish obligation to make the declarations here. And this is really something you need to check. If you're an importer for VAT, if you have some community acquisitions and you have to declare the VAT in Spain, then you're also liable to pay the tax. There in Spain, there are also, if we continue to the next slide, still discussions on how to find out which is the taxable amount, what is the taxable products. There are specific exemptions for semi-finished products, for non-reusable products. So there, if you are able to make discussions in order to exempt your product. This is always something our colleagues in Spain will be happy to help, and also to make the administrational process, especially here, if you are liable to pay the tax, you need to be registered as a Spanish taxpayer, and if you do not have personnel there in the local entity, our colleagues, they are also doing for some clients the monthly reporting or quarterly reporting. It depends on how often you do the VAT returns. If you have a quarterly obligation, then the plastic tax will also be quarterly. If it's monthly, then it's also plastics will also be monthly. But yeah, obviously you need to collect the right data, and then you have to fill out the forms correctly. And then because it's a new obligation, then there are still technical problems which have to be done, have to be dealt with, and if there is any help needed, our colleagues are happy to help you. Supplier declaration. I think this is also something I have some example on the next slide. Each time you import goods, even if you're not the importer, but the other one will do the inter-community acquisition or will declare the import. So if you're delivering products to Spain, then there will be a check at the border to see if you're giving the necessary plastics information, and if you're not fulfilling the documentation correctly, then there might be issues at the border, and your products are not will not be let in the country. So this is something really you should focus on. Talk with your clients, talk with your suppliers, so that everything has the right documentation, so that you do not get any issues here with the customs authorities for your deliveries to Spain. The UK, the customs are the tax authorities. The tax authorities are responsible in Spain. They are increasingly looking at your digital records. They are also want some proofs. They want the proof. There's also an exemption for recycled content, not recyclable plastic, but recycled content. It has to be run through. It has to be used once and then be recycled to be exempt, but you have to have the proof. You have to have some audited some documentation that you can declare your plastic as recycled, and therefore it's really important that you have the records ready whenever there's the authorities are asking you. Practical challenges, as I said, there's still issues in order to define the taxable products, because it's not in customs code corrected, but it's more plastic containing products, and there are a lot of exemptions. I can put them here on the slides, but if there's interest, I can give you the list. There are a lot of letters from the Spanish tax authorities who are giving some exemptions for medical products, and when you discuss is the product subject for this exemption or not, and we had some major discussions here in order to avoid it. This is still work in progress in sometimes because the Spanish law is not 100% as the UK law, but it's different formulation, the different perspective, different definitions, and here we have to be clear how, if we can accept this regulation, or if there's some approach to the authorities necessary. Then obviously it's also an IT system in order to get the data in order to help you to receive all the specific information. I think it's the best practice you will find yourself. It's same as in Italy, as in UK. See if you can centralize it. If you have a group, so we can have some unified templates in order to receive the data from your suppliers, and in order to have all the information ready for your tax declaration. Here's some information, yeah, which a client from us received and had to fill out in order to give yeah, the necessary information. Here you have to fill out the numbers of non-recycled plastics which are put onto the market and therefore are subject to tax. It's really, yeah, important to be prepared once you're making deliveries to Spain over the border, when you will have to declare the specific plastics amount, and yeah, just also make the differentiation. If you look later on the slide, you will see it. It's to the Actually, I will just be short on Germany, because here there was no huge development. Like, if you remembered my last presentation here, we were more direct on the plastic tax, but it's now there was a change in government. Here it's still the last yeah, declaration of the former government. They said they wanted to introduce this specific tax, the plastic levy, to, yeah, pass it on, the levy which the German government, you see here 1.4 billion euros are paid to the European Union with the plastic levy, and they wanted to introduce a plastic tax. But now we had a collapse in the government in 2024, and they did not yeah, succeed in finishing their product, the law. They did not pass it on time, and so it was not yeah, it was not implemented. First, it was meant to be implemented for the 1st of January 2024, or 2025, and yeah, at the last in 2025 they said we will postpone it to 2026, but even this they didn't succeed. And yeah, now we have a new government since yeah, now April, and there was an election in February, but since April they have these discussions. And here we have the coalition agreement in Germany for the yeah, plastic taxation, and we don't find anything on the implementation of a new plastic taxation law. We yeah, the word as clearly as it was inserted in the coalition agreement in 2021. It's not there anymore in the new coalition agreement of 2025. So right now we're not expecting to yeah, a plastic tax to be implemented in Germany for the next yeah, 3 or 4 years. We have always a governmental period of 4 years in Germany, but yeah, you never know. Like they make promises during election day, and afterwards the promises were all forgotten after the election. So we can never be sure, but I would not expect it for yeah, until yeah, 2029 that there will be some plastic tax implemented in Germany. But what is really in focus, as I already talked about it, is the extended producer responsibility fee. Here we want, the government wants a change of Section 21 of the Packaging Act, and here they want, yeah, to change the way of calculating this fee for the recycling companies in order to make more incentives for yeah, the usage of recycled content, in order to yeah, change where the incentives for the companies. So right now, as I said, there's a standardized fee for plastics. There's no differentiation between the different sources. But yeah, to summarize, we do not have any plastic tax right now in the coalition agreement, so I do not expect anything here in the near future. Italy is also quickly done. We have a plastic tax legislation also since 2022. It should be it should start in 2023 as in Spain, but there were some postponements. Here you see the summary of the products, but I don't want to waste your time here. Just the information. Right now, the plastic tax in Italy is postponed until yeah, 1st of July 2026. But I talked to my colleague in Milano, and she said she does not expect the tax to be implemented in 2026. at the moment right now. There might be a different new postponement, or the tax will be abolished as a whole. So yeah, we will wait for the next developments in Italy. But yeah, right now there is no clear action to be taken here. And she said also there are a lot of legislative documents that are still missing. We just have the law, but there still needs some implementation to be done. So it's not something which will be done shortly. Then I will go once across the Atlantic Ocean in Canada. We also, yeah, we do not have a plastic tax right now, but we had some local, you find it here, extended producer responsibility systems, which, yeah, were not unified or were not standardized in the past, but now it's more interesting what comes on the next slide, because it's really going quickly now. On the September of 29th of September, there will be there's the obligation to hand in plastics information if you're yeah, a distributor, producer of plastic packaging to Canadian Federal Plastics Registry, where you have to yeah, report all the quantities of plastic placed on the market, and also with very concrete information if it's reused, recycled, or otherwise treated, disposed. So it's really something you should look at if you're exporting goods from Ireland to Canada. And I talked also there to my colleague in Canada, Montreal, who said it's actually they're expecting here to have some yeah, plastic tax in the short term. This is plastic registry. It's just the preparation. They want to gather the data, because, as I said, we right now we only have plastics information on the local level for their EPR systems, but they are not on a national level standard harmonized. And this is the first step here. And once we have the data, we are quite sure that there will also be some new plastic tax starting in Canada. And as you see, there are some, yeah, some new developments. And yeah, there's also one point I forgot to say at the beginning. We started with this European fee, which the member states have to pay towards the European Union. Here there was a race. The race will take place starting in 2027. Right now, it's 80 cents per kilogram non-recycled plastic, which each member states have to pay. Starting in 2027, it will be €1 per kilogram of non-recycled plastic, and therefore obviously the amount each member state will have to pay towards the European Union will rise. And then obviously there is also the need, and also the pressure on the countries will rise, and then there will be probably more countries than here, UK and Spain, who are actually putting pressure on the subject. But yeah, this is in the nutshell what's happening on plastic taxes in Europe, in Canada. But yeah, look also in the report where we have also the other countries, which I could not in time reasons talk to right now. I will just give you some summary of the internal best practices for you, as I think most things are already talk to you. You have to make sure to get all the persons in your company involved into the process. It's most of the time it's not one single department in your company, but you have tax department, ESG department, procurement, packaging. There are a lot of departments, and it's important to collaborate together to get the data. And also maybe it is I think it's a great opportunity here you are doing with TSM also to give some networking. It's also industry-wide, not only in the company, but in order to get in discussion with your suppliers, with your clients, in order to make sure that this process of plastic taxation gets the attention it deserves, and also maybe to rethink if there's a possibility to implement recycled plastic instead of regular plastics. Just look at the processes in order maybe to implement some changes here. But as I said, if you want to have some tax exemptions, be sure that you have the documentation ready. Put your ERP system onto on proof. Look if your systems are able to make all the necessary information, all the necessary reporting, and I think also the cross-border is something which right now is not yet so much in focus, but it will come for the future. That you I talked a lot about you get the tax obligation once you put plastics onto the market, but there's also the possibility of the tax refunds once you put the plastic, you exported the plastic which was already taxed. So this is maybe something for the future, which when I talk to clients is known that there is a possibility of getting some refund, but it's not yet so much looked at. But obviously, the better the IT system gets, the more proof you have, and you will be able to to strengthen your process here. Then what's for the future? Obviously, you have to continue. Which was my first slide, second slide. You have to continuously watch the legal changes here. I said Italy, it's not close to come, but maybe I'm wrong, and also maybe the German government may change their they change their opinion and they will implement some taxes. As I said, the costs are rising on the EU side, so there's also a big necessity to overlook this. With these new changes, and also, like as I said, in UK there are some major changes coming up. Spain is still quiet, but it might be also something for the future. And look at your internal processes. I think I talked a lot about it. Digital readiness. I think this is also something which is quite common sense. And maybe to close up my presentation, I will highlight here the risk management. If you're exporting plastic containing goods to some countries and you don't know what are the processes here, what are the legal obligations, so better make some compliance check, ask our colleagues in the local areas, or ask firsthand your colleagues in the specific country if they have some knowledge on the topic, and then they might give you the answer. But it's really important also, if you're a group out of Ireland, to focus here to be sure that you are not having risks which are undetected just because the law is new, the tax is new. So this is something really you have to have some kind of setup for each country. And it's really sad that we do not have some harmonization in place since 2022 when I had the last webinar, but it's something maybe for the future to come up. I want to close with these remarks, and I'm really thankful for the opportunity to talk to you 3 years after the last time, and I'm happy to meet some of you at the K show, and I'm want to pass over to Caitríona for her insights on the topic.
Thanks, Bertil. Everyone see that okay? Hopefully.
Yeah.
So thanks, Bertil. I suppose, what Shane has outlined there in terms of that connection piece at K, and I think, the challenges that Bertil has outlined are, they're coming thick and fast for those in the polymer sector as well. And that's really the premise of Polymer Connect. So Polymer Connect is about empowering the polymer sector through partnerships. It is a project which is funded by Intertrade Ireland in collaboration with NIPA and a number of the other partners there that are very prominent stakeholders across the island of Ireland in polymers as well. So Polymer Technology Ireland, First Polymer Training Skillnet, IPG, TUS and APT then as well. So what is the goal of Polymer Connect? Well, with the initial phase, it was to create a map, an all-island map, where we would understand the visibility and create that across the island of Ireland in terms of what companies are there, the sectors that they operate in, and also the applications of their market areas as well. It's also, I suppose, and this is the piece that we're now moving on to and I'll highlight, to understand first who's there. It's a way to forge collaboration as well. So again, going back to some of the challenges there that Bertil has outlined, a lot of that we need to navigate collectively as well. And there's a really strong component to that we can do for peer-to-peer learning. And then through that, when we try to tackle these shared challenges, we hope that we'll be able to support them more on a collective basis and really drive the innovation and competitiveness of the polymer sector across the island of Ireland as well. So moving on to, I'll just give a little overview as to this first phase that we've now undergone. And for those that are unfamiliar with it, this kind of sums up the progress that we have made to date. And I'll jump through the next phase of it now. So here we go. So as we move on to the next phase, and this is where myself and Shane had began the collaboration as well, it's really important, and it came out of some of the focus group areas as well, you know, this opportunity to connect in with the right people across the sector. So while the map is visible and a really useful tool, number one, to engage with and demonstrate the value, the level of companies across the island of Ireland in the polymer sector, it's really important that we begin to support each other. And so as you log on and become a user within the Polymer Connect platform now and on the dashboard, you can see up here that we have built out certain communities. And one of those communities that we want to launch today is that Preparing for K. So as we know, at K Fair, there's a huge number of people that travel to K Fair on an ongoing basis as well. We really want to support that community traveling, understanding how many are going, what companies you represent, and to create targeted communications around certain events that happen during the fair, but also surrounding the fair, and engage with the likes of Enterprise Ireland and some of our agencies as well to really get a handle as to the number of people travelling to K Fair and how we can best support, maybe not for this iteration, but in future, how we can have a larger representation and a presence at K Fair as well going forward. So I think Noel has popped in the link in terms of joining the dashboard, and you'll be able to communicate directly with one another And we will also be highlighting different opportunities so that you'll understand other events that are happening, as I said as well. And I'll jump onto one of those in a minute. Engage in those direct conversations, and we'll be receiving and sharing targeted updates and notifications as we get those from our partners across Ireland, but also our counterparts across different clusters across Europe as well. And one such event is this, we're working with partners on the Polrec. We've had a number of companies from Ireland that have already been awarded funds through the Polrec project, and they're actually holding their final event on the 10th of October during K-Fair. So as we get further details as to what companies will be pitching their solutions at this, we will be able to share that directly through Polymer Connect. But I suppose the one that we have working on together is the one that Shane had highlighted at the start as well. So it's really an opportunity to bring the companies across the island of Ireland that operate in the polymer sector together in O'Reilly's pub on the 9th of October. And we will be highlighting again all of the updates through Polymer Connect, both on our LinkedIn and through the dashboard as well. But we'd really encourage you to kind of scan and register your interest in this kind of networking and brokering event that we're holding during K-Fair in Dusseldorf. So we hope to see you there. Over to you, Shane.
Yeah, perfect. Caitríona, thank you so much. I know we've come to the end of our 60-minute slot. At this stage, I know we had planned to maybe catch some question and answers at the end of the session. I'm conscious people will need to drop off. So what we suggest is we're literally 1 month away from K, just shy of that at this stage. So hold fire on your questions, or if you want to pass them on, we'll share contact details now in a moment. I think we'll get those up on screen in a moment for each one of us. At this stage, I really want to thank Bertil for a very insightful presentation. It's clear the plastics taxation area is still very much evolving, depending on some countries, as you mentioned, that doesn't seem to be sight coming in Germany. It's going to be delayed within Italy. It's data collection within Canada, and the UK is certainly pressing ahead there. But it's certainly an area that affects each one of either our own businesses or any one of our existing customers or potential clients. So it's very important that we have an awareness around that as well. And also then to thank Caitríona. The Polymer Connect is a great initiative across the island of Ireland. There's so much innovation happening. I think we're the second biggest medical device market in the world producer. So it's a hub of innovation in the polymer and life science sector. And we look forward to seeing everyone at K and hopefully in O'Reilly's Irish Bar to come together and network and collaborate during that event. So thank you all, and look forward to see you at K 2025.
Thank you also from my side, and yeah, see you at K.
Thanks everyone, see you at K.